SMT Nation, we back. Thanks for tuning into this edition of the channel. This is a great article. I'll link it in the description for you. We're going to chop it up, spit it out, and take it all in here and see what this is all about. One of the better articles from Mike Dano in a while. Lots of revelations here. All right, so a closer look at how cable can profit in mobile. All right, so we know that Comcast and Charter are now selling as Verizon MVNOs. And they're selling that mobile service at a very attractive price point to consumers. In fact, a lot of Verizon customers have switched to either Comcast or Charter for mobile services. So that would be like the XFinity and the Spectrum mobile services. And they're doing it to save money. And the way that they're saving money is they get this discounted mobile service. And of course, bundling those two things together makes Comcast and Charter happy because they get to retain them as home internet customers. They don't go to fixed wireless to take that bundle. Those types of things are kind of ongoing. Altice is getting involved. Cox Communications, WOW has gotten involved. They're all looking to do this mobile convergence approach. But where the revelations are happening is we now know, based on the information from New Street analysts cited in this article, we know how much money that the Comcast and Charter are paying on their customers' wireless service. Okay, so how much money are they paying to Verizon every month? First of all, you got to look at the usage. All right, so let's take a look at that first. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a smidge so this data can be a little bit more visible. All right, according to OpenSignal, the total data usage by company, and it's tracked in gigabytes per month. Okay, so you got Xfinity mobile customers. They use 38 gigs a month, but, it says here 41 gigs a month, according to this 40.5 or whatever. That's total usage of Wi-Fi is at 38 gigs. 2.5 gigs is on mobile. So that the average Xfinity mobile customer only uses 2.5 gigs of mobile data, and that's on Verizon's network. All right, so that means it's not much, right? But that's money that they got to pay to Verizon. Spectrum Mobile, similar numbers. They use a little bit less data in terms of total data on Wi-Fi. You could see they're like at 32 gigs a month. But they're using 3.3 gigs of mobile data, so that's on Verizon. These two companies are trying to do something that's very interesting. They both own licenses in the CBRS. That's the Band 48. We've talked about it here on the channel a lot with Verizon. And they're going to start building out their own mobile network to offload these mobile gigs to try to rely on Verizon as least amount as possible. So these 2.5 gigs, these 3.3 gigs from these Xfinity and Spectrum mobile customers, these MVNOs, Xfinity and Spectrum, want to kind of build out this small cell arrangement, right? So basically they'll put up strand mounts on all their existing infrastructure where their coaxial cable is and fiber, and they'll try to offload as much as they can. I think the goal is to get down 1/3 of the data usage and not having to pay and rely on Verizon. All right, it's interesting there. You can see like the Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile numbers, but Verizon users, right? You could see like all the different usages. That's pretty interesting thing there from OpenSignal. But where this boils down to is cost, right? How much does it cost, Spectrum and Xfinity to provide the mobile network coverage through Verizon? And here is your answer. In a lengthy note to investors, New Street analyst says the amount of traffic it offloads and promotional prices included, all things considered here, the ARPU is $33. And the cost for Spectrum and Comcast to offer the service is $30. On a per customer basis, they make $3 a month because they got to pay Verizon $30 of that $33 in revenue. All right. It says here it adds up to about $150 million annually in earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. All right, so that's a metric called EBITDA. It's basically, that's the magic word at investor conferences and earnings reports. Charter's got 4.5 million mobile customers. That's how that calculation was added. And then, of course, if they start running promos in which they're giving people even more discounted service and maybe like whatever line promotions or devices, those numbers dip. Then they kind of go into a loss. It says here, in their cost-saving efforts, including offloading data onto their own CBRS network, Charter can achieve profitability without any further scale while offering a free line and allowing ARPU to fall to $30 by offloading traffic from the MVNO onto CBRS. Analysts estimate Charter could ultimately generate up to $6 in earnings per customer, an EBITDA margin of 21% if it grows the customer base to 10 million while embarking on a CBRS offloading strategy. Guys, building a mobile network is not easy. Ask Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile that have been doing it for the last 20 years. That's not going to be an easy feat. Now, the way that they're going to do it with these small cells is going to be really affordable. They're basically going to go where they already have all their infrastructure and just put on these strand mount small cells. But them getting on like macro cells and stuff, that's a much more challenging prospect. The permitting is going to be intense, time consuming, expensive investing to buy all those radios and getting spots and leases on tower sites and monopoles and rooftops. That doesn't seem like that's going to work for them. But I think a situation with like, places that are considered to be hot zones for their users, they definitely want to try to get those like small cell strand mounts there. And this is an interesting convergence factor here. So think about it, guys. You've got wireless operators, right? Traditional mobile network operators now selling 5G home internet as broadband. It's really the ball's in their court. They're the ones with the cost advantage. I said this in a video before. Now the New Street analysts are kind of saying the same thing. People at the smart money people, right? Moffett-Nathanson and all these other guys. The cost advantage is with the mobile network operator, not the MVNO, right? This is an uphill battle for cable. They're going to have some headwinds here. They're fighting to remain profitable, and they're fighting to compete for customers. I guess they weren't ready. Or if they were, they tried to play it off, and now they're kind of responding. We'll see how this plays out for them, but this is pretty interesting, right? The product advantage for bundling service doesn't really exist. Roger Etner, Recon Analytics, friend of the show, we've talked about this extensively. There is a cost advantage. I don't see a product advantage. The customer doesn't care who is selling them their mobile service as long as the network experience is good. And since it's Verizon selling it to Comcast and Charter, you're getting the same network experience. Really, it's just cost advantage to the consumer. They're going to pull the trigger on a deal based on cost, right? So it's not a thing. That doesn't exist. I like the advantage to the mobile network operator here. In my estimation, cable making a profit, it's not going to get better unless they start building out their own personal, like, owned and operated network, those small cells with CBRS. I mean, at some point, like, what are they going to sell? Can they sell the lines any cheaper? They can't. I mean, they're already losing money in a way once they start running promotions, right? But it's the only way that they can grow and keep their customers. This is an interesting conundrum. I'm not disappointed. I'm very happy. Glad to see cable getting their asses handed to them. Screw them. Them and their explosive pricing, and how poorly they've treated customers in the past, and being not very responsive to fixing their network. They get whatever they get. I'm glad that they're getting served some humble pie. Anyways, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think about this developing story and those numbers. I found it interesting. I wanted to share it with you all. Comment down below. You all the voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. Like, share, subscribe for more. Turn on the bell notification icon to never miss an upload. Links are in the description for all things going on with the channel. Big shout out to my YouTube members and my patrons. Thanks for supporting me on those platforms. Y'all the goats, and you're making content on this channel possible. Thank you so much for all that you do. We out this piece. Peace.